Every dream begins with movement, but most dreams die in silence. Not because we lack ability, but because we surrender to invisible enemies that eat away at our will. These enemies don't come wearing masks or wielding weapons. They come disguised as habits, fears, and excuses. Progress isn't stopped by external storms. It's defeated by internal surrender. The greatest battle of progress is not fought on the road to success, but inside the mind of the dreamer. To move forward, you must first identify what's holding you back, because you cannot conquer what you cannot confront. The first step toward greatness is realizing that progress is not automatic. Life doesn't hand you growth, it demands it. You can't wish your way into success. You must fight your way into it. And that fight isn't always against others. It's against the 5 enemies that quietly destroy ambition, fear, doubt, procrastination, excuses, and neglect. These enemies don't shout, they whisper. They tell you, not today. They tell you, you're not ready. They convince you that comfort is safer than courage. But every time you listen to them, you lose a piece of your potential. Progress is a rhythm, a pulse that beats inside those who refuse to settle. The moment you stop challenging yourself, that rhythm fades. You can't build a legacy while sleeping under the blanket of mediocrity. To rise, you must be alert, disciplined, and intentional. The enemies of progress feed on distraction and laziness. But when you decide, truly decide, to rise above them, something inside you awakens. The hunger, the fire, the unstoppable drive that separates winners from wanderers. Progress belongs to those who protect their purpose from the enemies that seek to steal it. Every dream begins as a small flicker of imagination, a glimpse of what could be. But somewhere between inspiration and achievement, most dreams fade away, quietly buried under the weight of unseen forces. It's not that people lack talent, skill, or opportunity. It's that they surrender to invisible enemies that silently sabotage their progress. These enemies are not out there in the world. They live within us. They come dressed as comfort, fear, hesitation, and distraction. They whisper doubts in your ear, feed on your insecurities, and slowly convince you that tomorrow is a better day to begin. Yet tomorrow never comes for those who wait. The truth is, progress doesn't vanish because of external obstacles. It dies from internal surrender. When you look at people who have achieved greatness, you might think they're lucky or gifted. But if you could peek behind the curtain of their success, you'd see the truth. They simply learned how to recognize and defeat their invisible enemies. Every time fear knocked, they faced it. Every time doubt whispered, they acted anyway. Every time comfort called, they walked the harder road. That's what progress really is. Not an easy walk, but a daily battle against the forces that want you to remain the same. Most people underestimate the power of these enemies because they don't come with a warning sign. They don't attack you in one big moment. They come softly, like a fog that slowly surrounds you until you can't see your vision anymore. One day you're excited about your goals, full of passion and ideas. The next you're distracted, tired, and uninspired, wondering where the spark went. That's how progress dies. Not in dramatic explosions, but in quiet compromise. You don't wake up one morning and decide to quit your dream. You just postpone it for one more day, then another and another, until years pass and the dream has turned into regret. Jim Rohn once said, "The same wind blows on us all. The difference is the set of the sail." That means life will always test you, distract you, and try to wear you down. But it's your mindset, your response, that determines whether you move forward or drift off course. The enemies of progress don't destroy your dreams. They tempt you into destroying them yourself. They make you question your worth, your timing, your capacity to change. They tell you it's too late, that you're too young, too old, too busy, too uncertain. But every one of those statements is a lie designed to make you comfortable with mediocrity. The danger of comfort is that it feels safe. It makes you believe you're doing fine when, in reality, you're standing still. Progress demands motion. It doesn't care about your excuses, your schedule, or your fears. It only rewards those who show up consistently, even when they don't feel like it. The invisible enemies of progress love to attack your emotions because they know that if they can control your feelings, they can control your actions. If they can make you doubt for 1 second, they can delay you for a lifetime. That's why self-awareness is the first weapon in your fight for progress. You must learn to pause and ask yourself, what's really stopping me? It's rarely the world around you. It's something inside. Maybe it's the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, or the fear of starting over. But fear only has the power you give it. The moment you face it with truth, it begins to shrink. Every step you take toward your goals weakens those enemies. Every time you act in spite of fear, you train your mind to be stronger than your emotions. Success is not the absence of struggle, it's the mastery of struggle. The person who wins is not the one who never feels afraid. It's the one who refuses to let fear dictate their decisions. The person who achieves their dreams is not the one with perfect conditions. It's the one who creates progress out of imperfect circumstances. You will never find a time when life is completely ready for your dreams. You will have to begin before you feel ready, move before you feel certain, and believe before you see results. That's how you take back control from the enemies that hold you back. Inside every one of us is the potential to rise beyond what we've been told, what we've experienced, and what we've failed at. But that potential stays locked until we confront the things that keep us from using it. The invisible enemies of progress are clever. They know how to disguise fear as logic, doubt as realism, and laziness as rest. They know how to make you rationalize your stagnation. I'm just waiting for the right time, you tell yourself. But the right time doesn't exist. It's created by those who act. The greatest tragedy is not failure, it's hesitation. Progress isn't about speed, it's about direction. Even small steps, taken daily, will eventually outrun the giant leaps that never start. The key is consistency. The moment you identify what's holding you back, you begin to weaken its grip, because you cannot conquer what you do not confront. The real enemy is not the obstacle, it's the excuse. The greatest battle of progress is not out there in the world. It's inside the mind of the dreamer. When you win that battle, the world opens up. When you choose courage over comfort, action over fear, and persistence over doubt, progress becomes inevitable. The first step toward greatness is realizing that progress never happens by accident. No one drifts into success. You don't stumble your way into achievement. Progress must be built protected and earned through discipline, clarity, and relentless effort. Life doesn't hand you growth. It demands it. You can't wish your way to success. You must fight for it, sweat for it, and commit to it every single day. That fight isn't always against the world. It's against the enemies that live inside your own mind. And if you're not aware of them, they will defeat you quietly, slowly, and completely. These 5 enemies, fear, doubt, procrastination, excuses, and neglect, are the silent destroyers of progress. They don't come charging at you like lions. They creep in like shadows, convincing you that you're fine, that you have time, that you can start later. Fear is the first and loudest enemy. It whispers in your ear when opportunity knocks. It tells you that you're not ready, that you might fail, that people will laugh if you fall. Fear paralyzes even the most talented individuals. It's not the lack of ability that keeps people stuck. It's the fear of what might happen if they try. Yet the truth is, everything you want lies on the other side of that fear. You cannot discover your strength without stepping into uncertainty. Fear will always exist, but courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward in spite of it. Every time you act in the presence of fear, you weaken its hold on you. Every time you choose progress over panic, you gain power. Then comes doubt, fear's quiet twin. Doubt doesn't scream, it whispers. It makes you question your potential. It tells you that maybe your dream is too big, that maybe you're not good enough, that others are more deserving. Doubt doesn't destroy your dream overnight. It erodes it slowly. You start strong, full of belief, but then one failed attempt, one rejection, one setback makes you second guess everything. But remember this, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Failure teaches, doubt paralyzes. Failure pushes you to try again. Doubt convinces you to give up before you even start. The only cure for doubt is action. You don't need perfect confidence to begin. You gain confidence by doing, by moving, by refusing to stop. The third enemy, procrastination, is the thief of time and progress. It doesn't feel dangerous because it disguises itself as harmless delay. I'll start tomorrow, it says. I just need to think a little more. But procrastination is a liar. It feeds on your best intentions. Every time you delay, you train your mind to tolerate inaction. Every time you wait, you lose momentum. Progress is about motion, not perfection. The longer you wait for the right time, the further your dream drifts away. The best time to act was yesterday. The next best time is now. Greatness is built in moments of immediate decision, not endless delay. Excuses are the next enemy, and perhaps the most deceptive one. Excuses sound reasonable. They protect your pride. They give you permission to fail without guilt. I didn't have support. It just wasn't the right season. But excuses are elegant lies, comfortable cages that keep you from accountability. Every excuse you make strengthens your limitations. The moment you stop making them, you take back your power, because life will always give you a reason not to try. The question is, will you take it? Winners see obstacles and find solutions. Losers see obstacles and find excuses. The difference is not intelligence. It's ownership. When you take full ownership of your life, you destroy the power of excuses forever. The final enemy of progress is neglect. Unlike fear or doubt, neglect doesn't strike suddenly. It works silently over time. You skip one workout, one reading session, one opportunity to learn, and you tell yourself it's just one time. But small neglects compound. Miss enough on times, and you build a habit of mediocrity. Jim Rohn used to say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but skip it for 6 months and see what happens. Neglect is dangerous because it doesn't hurt immediately. It deceives you into thinking you're still fine. But progress is fragile. It requires daily maintenance. You can't build momentum one day and expect it to last forever. Consistency is the currency of growth, and neglect is the silent thief that spends it all. These 5 enemies, fear, doubt, procrastination, excuses, and neglect, don't live outside of you. They live inside. They exist in your thoughts, your decisions, your habits. And the moment you recognize them, you reclaim your power. You can't defeat an enemy you don't see. Awareness is the beginning of transformation. When you start to notice your fears but act anyway, when you feel doubt but move forward, when you kill procrastination with action, when you replace excuses with ownership, and when you guard against neglect with discipline, then you begin to rise. Progress is no longer a wish. It becomes your daily practice. You must understand the world doesn't slow down for anyone who hesitates. The opportunities of today will not wait for the timid. Every moment spent in fear, doubt, or delay is a moment lost forever. You are not running out of dreams. You're running out of time to act on them. That's why the fight against these 5 enemies must be constant, intentional, and personal. Because every time you defeat one of them, you unlock a new level of potential within yourself. You can't control the wind, but you can control the sail. You can't stop challenges from coming, but you can prepare your mind to face them. The true enemy of progress is not the difficulty of the path, it's the hesitation to walk it. When you understand that progress requires a fight, you stop asking, when will it get easier? And start asking, how can I get stronger? That's the shift that transforms ordinary effort into unstoppable momentum. Progress is a rhythm, a living heartbeat inside every person who refuses to settle for less than they're capable of becoming. It's the pulse of purpose that drives you to wake up early, stay up late, and keep going when comfort begs you to stop. But the moment you stop challenging yourself, that rhythm fades. You begin to slow down, not because life became harder, but because you stop demanding more from yourself. You can't grow inside your comfort zone. You can't build a legacy wrapped in routine. Every ounce of greatness that's ever been achieved came from someone who looked comfort in the eye and said, "You will not keep me here?" The truth about progress is that it requires constant vigilance. It's not something you earn once and keep forever. It's something you must protect daily. The enemies of progress don't strike when you're strong. They wait until you're tired, distracted, or satisfied. They feed on complacency. The moment you start saying, "I've done enough," they whisper, "You can rest now." And before you know it, the fire begins to dim. People don't fail overnight. They fade slowly by losing their hunger. Progress is not lost in one decision. It's lost in 1,000 small moments of comfort. Look around and you'll see two types of people: those who are pulled forward by their purpose and those who are dragged backward by their excuses. The difference isn't talent or intelligence. It's hunger. The ones who keep growing are those who keep the flame alive, who remind themselves every day why they started, who look at their vision not as a dream, but as a duty. They protect their time, their focus, their energy like treasure, because they understand that progress is fragile. Distraction is its poison. Every time you allow yourself to drift, you weaken the rhythm that drives your success. Progress isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It's built quietly, in early mornings and late nights, in choices that no one sees. It's the discipline to say no to what's easy and yes to what's necessary. The enemies of progress thrive in distraction. They want your attention scattered, your effort diluted, your purpose forgotten. But when you decide to focus, when you make a firm commitment to your growth, those enemies begin to starve. Focus is the oxygen of progress. Without it, your goals suffocate under the weight of business. That's why discipline is not punishment. It's protection. It keeps your priorities alive when emotions fade. The people who achieve extraordinary things don't wait for motivation. They create momentum. They understand that progress doesn't depend on how you feel. It depends on what you do. Feelings change. Discipline stays. Motivation may start the engine, but habits keep the wheels turning. And that's where most people lose the rhythm. They chase motivation instead of mastering consistency. They get excited for a week, then stop when the excitement fades. But progress doesn't care about your excitement. It rewards endurance. You can't build a skyscraper on moments of enthusiasm. You build it on daily bricks of discipline. Every great achiever has faced the same temptation to quit, the same fatigue, the same distractions. What separates them from the rest is that they decided once and never decided again. They made their vision non-negotiable. They said, "This is who I am now," and lived that decision every day. When your purpose becomes part of your identity, progress becomes natural. You don't have to force yourself. You simply align with who you've chosen to be. That's the secret. The rhythm of progress flows through those who know where they're going and refuse to stop until they get there. You can't build momentum by looking backward. Every step you take forward, no matter how small, strengthens your belief in yourself. The moment you act, something shifts within you. Confidence doesn't come before progress. It comes because of progress. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you push through resistance, you build trust in your own ability to win. That trust is the foundation of greatness. Without it, you're building on sand. But with it, nothing can shake you. The enemies of progress love hesitation because it breaks the rhythm. When you pause too long, your mind fills with doubt. You start questioning your goals, your timing, your capability. But when you keep moving, when you maintain momentum, doubt doesn't have time to grow roots. That's why action is so powerful. It silences every enemy that tries to talk you out of your destiny. Progress is self-reinforcing. The more you move, the stronger you become. The stronger you become, the more you move. It's a beautiful cycle that only begins when you decide to stop waiting for perfect conditions and start doing what you can with what you have. Progress doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most consistent. It belongs to those who show up even when no one is watching, who stay disciplined when no one is cheering, who believe in the unseen reward of persistence. You don't need to be faster, smarter, or luckier. You just need to refuse to stop. Every day that you fight the pull of laziness, distraction, and doubt, you're building an unbreakable rhythm. And that rhythm becomes your advantage. It becomes your identity. When you protect your progress, you protect your potential. When you guard your focus, you guard your future. The world belongs to those who stay hungry, who keep their inner fire burning no matter how many storms come their way. Progress is not about perfection, it's about persistence. You may stumble, fall, or get tired, but as long as you keep your rhythm alive, as long as you keep moving, you're winning. Because every step forward, no matter how small, is a step away from who you were and a step closer to who you're meant to become. Ladies and gentlemen, remember this: progress is not a privilege, it's a choice. It's not reserved for the lucky, the talented, or the wealthy. It belongs to the ones who dare to keep moving when everything inside them screams to stop. The world doesn't hand success to anyone. It waits silently for those who refuse to surrender. The 5 enemies of progress, fear, doubt, procrastination, excuses, and neglect, are not stronger than you. They only win when you stop fighting. But the moment you rise, the moment you look those enemies in the eye and say, "Not today," you reclaim your destiny. You see, fear will always whisper, "You can't." But your soul must roar back, "Watch me." Doubt will always say, "You're not ready." But progress replies, "I'll never be ready, and I'll start anyway." Procrastination will tempt you with comfort, but champions know comfort is a thief disguised as rest. Excuses will try to defend your weakness, but strength begins the moment you stop explaining and start executing. And neglect is the slow poison of lost potential. Don't sip from it. Don't allow one lazy moment to become your habit. Protect your vision with everything you have, because your future depends on it. Every single day, you have a choice. You can listen to your fears, or you can listen to your dreams. You can keep repeating your excuses, or you can rewrite your story. The choice is yours, and the clock is ticking. Time will not wait for you to feel ready, inspired, or confident. Time moves whether you do or not. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful ones decided, just decided, to take action even when they didn't feel like it. They moved forward on the days when motivation was gone, when no one was watching, when failure seemed certain. They understood one truth: progress doesn't care about how you feel, it only cares about what you do. So today, I challenge you, don't let the 5 enemies of progress steal your fire. Don't allow fear to silence your vision. Don't let doubt write your story. Don't let procrastination waste your potential. Don't let excuses comfort you into failure. And above all, don't let neglect slowly erase your dreams. Because every time you surrender to these enemies, You're trading your greatness for mediocrity. But every time you resist, every time you push back, every time you choose effort over ease, you grow stronger. Think about it. Every hero you've ever admired was once where you are now. They had fears, doubts, failures, and setbacks. They didn't have guarantees. They had grit. They didn't have perfect timing. They had persistence. What made them legends wasn't luck. It was the decision to keep going when quitting was easier. And that same decision is available to you. You have the same fire, the same power, the same opportunity to rise. You don't need to see the whole path to start walking. Just take the first step, because motion creates clarity, and clarity builds confidence. Don't wait for the universe to hand you a sign. You are the sign. You are the proof that potential can become power, that ordinary can become extraordinary, that a single decision can change the entire trajectory of a life. Don't underestimate how far one act of courage can take you. Don't underestimate how powerful it is to say, I will no longer lie below my potential. There will be days when the enemies return, when fear knocks again, when doubt creeps in, when you're tempted to delay, when excuses sound logical, when neglect feels harmless. But in those moments, remind yourself of who you are becoming. Remind yourself that progress is your birthright, not a privilege. You weren't born to live a small life. You weren't created to be average. You were designed for growth, for greatness, for contribution. Every breath you take is proof that your purpose isn't done yet. Tell yourself, I will not let fear dictate my steps. I will not let doubt poison my dreams. I will not procrastinate my destiny. I will not excuse my potential. And I will not neglect the fire that burns inside me. That's the declaration of progress. That's the mindset of champions. Because life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And change begins the moment you decide that you're done being the victim of your excuses. You may have failed before. You may have started and stopped. You may have been hurt, rejected, or ignored. But hear me. Your story isn't over. You can start again, stronger, wiser, and more determined. The enemies of progress may have slowed you down, but they haven't defeated you. You're still here, and that means the fight isn't finished. Get back up, stand taller, walk faster, speak louder, dream bigger. The same fire that built the greats is burning in you right now. You just have to feed it. So the next time you face fear, remember it's only a test. The next time doubt whispers, turn it into fuel. The next time procrastination calls, act immediately. The next time excuses try to comfort you, remind yourself that comfort kills growth. And the next time neglect tempts you to relax, think of the version of you who's counting on you to stay consistent. You owe it to that future version of yourself to keep going. Progress is not an accident. It's a declaration. It's waking up each morning and saying, today I will move forward. No matter how small the step, it's doing one more rep, making one more call, writing one more page, learning one more skill. It's building, inch by inch, the life you were meant to live. You can't be defeated unless you quit. You can't lose if you refuse to stop. So stand up, take a breath, and declare with conviction, from this moment on, I choose progress over fear. I choose courage over comfort. I choose discipline over delay. I choose to fight the 5 enemies and protect my purpose. Because when you do, you don't just change your results, you change your identity. You become unstoppable, unshakable, unbreakable. The world steps aside for the one who knows where they're going. And when you decide, truly decide, to move forward with faith and fire, no enemy, no doubt, no delay can stand in your way.